Today, I'm going to try to answer this question. Which is the best scout vehicle in the new Expeditions Mudrunner game? Well, this is obviously subjective and will vary per mission, but I will say that the cramped, rocky desert terrain is a different beast than in SnowRunner. So I tried the same expedition with 3 different scouts and will share my results. Vehicles include a tricked-out International Loadstar with upgraded rubber, extended winch, twin snorkels, reinforced fenders, and a fine-tuned gearbox. A stock Cotco Canyon that I made extra pretty, and a stock Don 71. Here's the TLDR in advance. The Loadstar gets rock jammed and buried fenders deep in Little Colorado quicksand. The Don 71 bellied out and was awful in muddy sand. And the Cotco was so good, I took it for an encore speed run, flipped it, but had a blast. Now let's take a look at the highlights of each run. Beginning with the Loadstar, I did upgrade a few items, including a fine-tuned gearbox, upgraded the tires for better traction on the rocks, popped on some snorkels. I set out on the nearby areas mission and almost immediately got stuck. I know, poor path planning on my part, but I thought I could get through. I had to winch multiple times and go full-on paddle boat style through the water, doggy paddling, just hoping to get some surface to grip on. And eventually I used the drone just to see if there was a better way to get to my destination, and I didn't see one at the time. And then I discovered I had quite the river to cross. Thought I planned out a proper path. I even used my sonar numerous times to try to see the shallowest way through. But each time that I would get to terrain that I thought I could traverse, it was just so steep or so narrow, and my truck is so long with that frame sticking out in the back and the dualies in the rear. It was so cumbersome to try and maneuver. And then I saw an airdrop, and I knew I was going to have that, and that was my mistake. I should not have tried to get it. I did get some spare parts. I could repair the truck. I found an anchor and some dinosaur bones and other materials that I could sell. But then I got stuck again and I only had one anchor. I had to try to figure out which way was the best way to go. I could only get traction going in reverse. And I just got myself so wedged and stuck. There was nothing I can do. I had nowhere to winch to and no more anchors remaining. So I ended up recovering and going home with my tail in between my legs. After that failure, I decided to try again, but this time using the Cotco Canyon vehicle. I did not do anything to the Scout other than make it pretty. That's just how I roll. And so we began the nearby areas mission a second time. To the Cotco, the Little Colorado area is its playground. It just seemed to float on top of this rocky terrain. Cramped areas were no problem. It's just so agile, easy to maneuver, and I felt very confident compared to the Loadstar, which surprised me because I thought my Loadstar, being the beast that it is, would have no problems, but it was night and day difference. And it just highlights how important it is to choose the proper vehicle. If one doesn't seem to be working, go back and try something different. So I completed the mission finally and found the high range upgrade, but then I grew curious. If I had so much difficulty with the Loadstar in this terrain, and such ease with the Cotco, what about the Don 71? So I tried it without any upgrades other than a coat of Sprite green paint. At first, it bebopped around the rocky desert with ease and was fun to drive, until I took it swimming, for which its squatty, snorkel-less body was clearly not built. I thought I was in the clear, but hit one little rock on the bank and was bumped backwards into a pool too deep for my toes to touch. Reversing until I gripped the muddy bank, I finally emerged. A swampy puddle of quicksand was all that stood in the way of my final destination, and I thought I was being smart going on the left around the mud hazard, but without an anchor, which was bad planning on my part, and only one poor winching point, I gave up, and old Donald took the L. With some chunky tires and a suspension lift, I think he shows promise, but not today. So the clear winner looked to be the Cotco Canyon, but I wanted to try one final time taking the Cotco the same path as the Don 71 to see the difference. This Cotco was completely stock other than the metal detector for the mission, and I beat her hard to test her limits. Fording the river was absolutely no problem, and she made the mud puddle her maintaining enough grip on the left side to pull through without any winching. Then I think I got a little too overconfident, thinking there wasn't much that the Cotco couldn't handle. Well, I found the limit. And didn't have a jack to right myself, but it sure was an entertaining expedition. My conclusion from this experiment is that for scout missions in the desert areas, the stock Cotco is quite the impressive beast, boasting superb maneuverability and traction on the tight rocky obstacles in this map. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite scout in Expeditions is. And if you didn't see my first impressions review of Expeditions, a Mudrunner game, click the video on your screen. After playing for many hours, I still stand by my choice to keep the game, as I thoroughly enjoy the planning, gadgets, vibrant colors, and varied missions of Expeditions compared with the often mundane, rinse and repeat long hauls of SnowRunner. Expeditions is not SnowRunner 2, so it won't be for everyone, but I think with patches, seasonal content, and mods, Expeditions stands to attract former as well as new players to the Runner family. If you like sim and survival games, please consider joining my convoy, and to be extra nice, drop a like or a comment below. Thanks for watching.